My name is Christy, and this is Angel Talk, where the archangels are real, relevant, and accessible to everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Let's talk. Hello, everybody, and happy Sunday. Happy start to another week. My name is Christy Michelle Riggs, and this is Angel Talk. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being back here with me again. I just have to say, I am so appreciative, so grateful, just absolutely blown away by the response to these messages, particularly through the podcast channels. I don't even have words. People all around the world, not even just in the United States, people all around the world are listening to these messages, downloading the messages, and there's just been a really, really awesome response to them, and I am so appreciative to each and every one of you for that. I just, I know how powerful the archangels are, and even I sometimes still make them too small, and they always remind me how I have a tendency to see myself as too small. I think we all have that tendency from time to time, and the angels are really calling us to think big, to play it big, to see ourselves as worthy and as big and as powerful as we truly are. And the response to these messages and just the number of people that are here with me for each message and are tuning in and listening and downloading, and I'm just so grateful. It warms my heart so much, and it just affirms to me how much we need these messages right now. And the more that we ask for the angels' help, the more that we tune ourselves into that, the more that they will show up just in huge ways to really help us navigate this path, and to give us all kinds of healing and love and encouragement and guidance and protection. And they can be trusted, and they're steadfast, and they're authentic, and that is definitely I think what we all need right now. So I just wanted to take a minute and tell you just how appreciative that I am for all of you. Just a couple of quick things before we get started, because I always forget to do this. People have been asking about social media. You can find me on Instagram at Christy Michelle Riggs. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Christy Michelle Riggs. So I'm very easy to find. The website is www.christymichelleriggs.com. So it makes everything very simple. Now I also have another website that I'm actually updating the website right now. So it's going to be a lot more functional, have a lot more content, a lot more ways to connect with me. And that is the Angel Bee website. And that's angel-bee, like B-E-E, like a bumblebee, angel-bee.com. And you can find the social media for that on Instagram at christy.angelbee, and on Facebook at angelbee1111. So angelbee1111. And then you'll be able to go to the website. I hope to have that finished. If not tonight, then tomorrow. It's very close. It didn't need much. I'm just giving it a bit of a facelift and making everything a lot more streamlined and easier for me, and a better experience for you guys. But please go ahead and visit the new website, which is christymichelleriggs.com, and connect with me there. And you can sign up for the mailing list. You can reserve a session for a number of different healing sessions or card readings or have several different things that you can book your own session for once you click through and do that. And I am only doing sessions right now via video interface, just with the COVID-19. I think that's kind of the way everybody is going, and that's the way I'm going to stay, at least for the time being. So I wanted to update you guys on that. And then the other thing is very exciting. It's been kind of a long time coming, and I'm really excited about it. But I have written a book, and I wrote the book a while back, and I kept postponing the release and kept postponing the release, and now I know why. The angels put it on my heart that it wasn't finished. It had some other things that were going to come along with it. So the book is called Radical Love, 44 Angel Messages to Inspire a Radical Transformation of Self-Worth. And they are 44 messages that the angels gave to me when I was really focusing on my self-worth, which I had never really had very much of, and was a challenging process for me, but it's a process that I'm just the most grateful for. So there's 44 messages, and kind of the circumstances surrounding the messages, and my life experience and response to the messages. And I hope that you guys really enjoy that, and that it is meaningful and helpful to you. And it will also have a journal that goes with it. I journal daily. I keep my journal in my purse. I keep it, wherever I am. That's where the journal is, because it is so helpful to me to organize my thoughts, to write down messages as they come through. Things up here in my head go 1,000,001 miles an hour all the time, and journaling really, really helps me to kind of calm all of that down. It's almost like a form of meditation for me when I can sit down and it forces me to slow down and write things out and really think about things, and that helps me to integrate the messages that I get. And so the journal will go right along with the chapters and the messages in the book, and you'll have like a guided prompt for each message that'll correspond to each chapter. And then I decided to, and it was just so much fun to create. I'm so excited about it. But it's going to have a card deck to go with it, and you'll be able to purchase the book separately, but I won't have the journal and the card deck for sale separately. You'll be able to purchase it either as a 3-piece set, which would be my recommendation to get the most benefit out of it. But you can also just purchase just the book. But the card deck and the journal wouldn't really make much sense to you. It'd be a whole lot of a benefit if you weren't doing it, along with the book. It's kind of all meant to go together. So that will be available on August the 10th, which is my birthday. So that is very exciting. Like I said, it's been in some ways a long time coming, and then also I understand it's just at the right time. So you guys can keep an eye out for that. So we are in the week of July the 12th through the 18th. And we're going to call these weekly messages Angel Awareness. And the reason that we're going to do that is because along my journey, I have a tendency to kind of overthink and overanalyze and kind of feel like I always have to do more or add more in order to be more. And I think that's one of those things that a lot of us have the tendency to do. And along my journey, Metatron kept coming in and saying, you're making it too hard. You're making it too complicated. Simplify it, simplify it, simplify it. And then when you think you've simplified it enough, go back and simplify it some more. And so he gave me this 3-step process that has really helped me, navigate any new information, any new, just skill or lesson or however you want to call it, anything that I'm trying to navigate and work with and integrate and understand and process, and that is awareness, acceptance, and action. And it at first it was like, well, there's got to be more to it than that. And he's like, no, I told you, it's very, very simple. It's not easy all the time. he had to clarify that for me. He doesn't mean that it's that we're going to find it easy all the time, but it is very simple. And so we're going to call these weekly messages our angel awareness, and that is just going to draw our awareness to where the angels are guiding us for the week to kind of help navigate us week by week. And I'm just going to pull, one card and get, what we need to be aware of, where we need to align our focus for the week. And then, throughout the course of the week, we can work on acceptance and then what action we're going to take. And I do want to just say that he also had to let me know that action doesn't always mean like a physical, tangible, something that we can like physically act on. Sometimes action means a choice to just be still with that, a choice to just let that sit. So our action just means what is their response to it? What is their choice going to be? So for this week, we are going to continue to work with Archangel Metatron. If you remember, he gave us the messages for the whole month that were just so powerful. And so I've pulled a card from the Archangel Metatron Self-Mastery Oracle and asked where we need to align our focus for this week. And he brought forward card number 48. And that card is called The Void. And it says retreat, rest, and pause. And I'm usually not so much drawn to the actual numbers of the cards. Usually I'm drawn more to the artwork or to what it says on the card. And for this card, I was drawn to the number right off the bat. And again, it's card number 48, which breaks down to a 3 in numerology. And so if you remember from our past messages, that number has been coming up again and again. The 3 and the 13 have really been, very prominent. Our focus has been drawn to those numbers. And it really, the number 3, if you remember, we talked before, it really has to do with increase and expansion, growth, abundance on all levels, mental, emotional, spiritual, and then also financial abundance. And number 3 is also the number of manifestation and creation. So the 3 really guides us to tap in to this creation energy that is very intense right now. And it's, if we can get in the flow of it and really tap into it, we can, really use that energy to be able to create some really wonderful things for ourselves. And with this card, Metatron gave me some really, really interesting perspective, just, starting out. And that is that, all of the old teachings, all of the things that, we've used to kind of get us this far. It's not that they are bad teachings. It's not that they're not useful. They are, because they've gotten us to where we are, But what we have to remember is that we are in the process of actively in the process of an evolution. And so where we are, no one's ever been before. This is new. We've not experienced this before, so we can use those old teachings and those old, the knowledge and the resources and the all the different ways and paths and all of those things that have been here for us. We can use that, to get us to a certain point, and then we are then actively creating brand new. This is fresh, this is new, and there's not a guidebook for it. We are actively doing this. We are co-creating with Source. We are co-creating with the angels. We are laying the blueprint for the new. And so once we kind of get to this certain point, it's like we're taking the training wheels off, and we're capable of doing that, because when he first gave me that message, I'm kind of like, whoa, that's big, and he's like, but you're capable. You have all of the tools that you need. You have everything within you that you need, and the angels are they're there for guidance and support and encouragement. But it's like, if you're a parent, when you teach your child to ride a bicycle, there comes a point where you're going along behind them, and then you let go of the bicycle, and you're still right there in case they need you, and you're cheering them on, but then they're doing it. They're doing it, and they're learning, and they're going, and just how the look on their little faces, and they're so proud of themselves, and that's kind of where we are right now. And so I think that's very exciting. And so he's drawing also my attention to the word, void. And he wants us to reframe the way that we think about that, because we often, tend to think when we hear the word void, like the great void or something, that kind of has a scary undertone to it, and it kind of feels, like it's this abyss that is going to swallow us up, and it feels, it's associated with feeling like very dark and very alone. And Metatron wants us to reframe, how we look at that. And he reminded me that, when this whole thing came into creation, before there was creation, there was the void. And that is a space from where all possibilities can be burst from. He wants us to think of it like as a blank canvas, and anything that we want to create can be burst from there, because it's just ripe with all of this possibility, and we have the free will choice as to what we're going to do with that and what we want to create with that. Because really, we can do whatever we choose. We can do whatever we want with that. And so, when we kind of look at it like that, then it becomes like this really empowering, exciting place to be, I think. And he also, reminded me of, that we can see this process, if we can look at it in terms of like a mother birthing a baby. We are birthing, we hear that a lot, but I don't think sometimes we stop to really to think that through and to really make that correlation. That we are birthing the new earth. We're birthing a new way. And so we've been experiencing the labor pains. We've been experiencing we talked before, the pushing and the tearing and the breaking away, to make way for this new to be birthed. And so the void can also be looked at like very womb like. And so we've been through all of this really intense energy, and we've been doing a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of heavy work, a lot of karmic clearing, a lot of just really soul evolving type stuff, and it has not been easy. It has not been easy. We've had a lot of planetary influences that have been very unusual, that have, or very rare, I should say, that have, even if they haven't so much felt like they've been helping us, they really have. They've really been helping us to intensify this process and move it along. And really, I know for myself, and I feel very confident that it's this way for a great many of us, has really pushed us to grow and expand in areas where, if we had not been given that push and that intensity, that we might otherwise have stayed, stayed small or stayed stagnant, or kind of put those things off, or continued to not want to face those things, or continue to kind of have this idea of I'll do that another time. I'm scared right now, or I don't want to do that right now, or it's not really a good time right now. And all of these planetary influences and all of the things that have worked together for our highest benefit have come together to say, no, now it's time, because you have all the tools, you can do this, and it's go time. It's time to release this stuff. It's time to feel better. It's time to do better. It's time to create better. I know in my personal experience, I've had a major, throat chakra upgrade, and a lot of strengthening and balancing in that area these past 6 to 8 weeks, due to some circumstances that came about pretty rapidly in my life. I was kind of put in, kind of found myself in this position that I had not really ever been in before, in that, I had kind of always been the softer, more diplomatic, kind of like less boundaries when it came to just the people in my life. And I didn't want to upset the apple cart, and I had kind of gotten this idea that well, if I'm firm with people, or if I'm if I do that, then if I stand up for myself, or if I say something, then that's not showing a very loving, spiritual example, or that may be the only way that those people ever get to be shown love. And what that, and those things can all be somewhat true, but it for me had become very out of balance. And what I was not realizing was that the best example of growth and being awake and aware, and of a higher consciousness, the best example that I can be of that is to set boundaries and to speak up for myself in a, I kept getting this card from another deck that I use. It's called the Peaceful Warrior card. And so I kept, being drawn back to that card, about how I can very much still stand up for myself, and do it in a very nice and peaceful way, to where it doesn't cause additional drama. It doesn't cause an additional problem. But I can just very much say, no, I can't do that right now, or you are not going to be allowed to remain in my presence if you're going to continue to behave that way, or no, I'm sorry, you can't just knock on my door at any, hour of the day or night and expect that I'm going to drop everything that I'm doing, because that's just not, it's not healthy. And it doesn't teach people that they too should be doing that for themselves, and that they are worthy of that. So I think, what that's taught me is the best example that I can be of that is to teach people how to do that through doing that myself. And so that's been kind of that's really been a place where I have been given that push with these intense energies to grow and develop and kind of mature and get a different perspective on. And it's really given me quite a bit of confidence, because in every situation where I have set a boundary, it has resulted in a very healthy outcome, and a lot of confidence, really. And every situation I can, I have gone back and, thought about it and kind of evaluated it afterward and tried to look at it very objectively. And every single time I could sit there and say, yeah, I feel good about that, because no one was, I never raised my voice. No one was degraded. No one was, made to feel shamed or bad or anything like that. I was just real matter of fact and in a loving way. And every time, even though it may have been uncomfortable in the moment, every single time it resulted in something positive. So I wanted to share that with you. This Mercury retrograde, and today Mercury has gone direct, and I think that we can all say a collective, oh, thank goodness, because this one was particularly intense for me, and again, that's why those areas of communication were brought up for me as a place that I really needed to do some more evaluating and some more integrating and some more growth. And it was an area that I can see was, if I hadn't been given that push and kind of been put in that circumstance to where I had to, then it would have probably taken me much, much longer, and I would have been in a lot more resistance. And then also, I've shared with y'all many times that, technology is just not my thing. And these last 6 or 8 weeks, that's been an area that I've had to do some growth too. And I'm certainly not an expert still by any means, but I feel a lot more capable. And it's given me some confidence to be able to feel like I can do when I am called to, and when God and the angels put me in a place where I need to step up, then I'm capable and can do that. And so I'm interested to hear where in your all's lives that those kind of things have been happening. So please send me messages and leave comments and things like that, and I will get back to you. I want us to all be connected. That's kind of the point of this whole thing. And we can really, share in celebration with each other and lift each other up if we're struggling with some things, and hold space for each other. And I think that's really the point, is for us all to do this thing together. We're not wired to be alone, and we're just not. And I think that is a place where we've been very misguided, to think that we got to do this, all alone or by ourselves. I'm thinking back to when my middle daughter was little, and she's precious. She's grown up on me now. She's a grown woman now, but and she's just gorgeous and so smart. And but when she was little, she was just so independent. And it was neat to see, because it was, sometimes challenging for other adults to be around her, because she had kind of more of an adult energy, even as a little tiny child. But she would she would insist that she do things by herself. If you tried to do for her something that she knew she was capable of doing, she would stomp her little foot and say, "I do it myself." So she would say it, and it was just so so cute, and she was so precious. And I would have to look at the other adults around and say, "Let her do it herself." I don't know what to tell you. She can do it. So there's been this balance really between that kind of energy and bringing that into balance to to feel capable and to know that we're powerful and that we're worthy and that we have everything that we need. But we don't have to do it all by ourselves, and we should lift each other up and support each other. And so that's what I really want us to be able to do. And if you've left me a message within the last couple of days, I promise I'm going to get back to you guys starting tomorrow. I have the last couple of days, especially, the energy has been really wonky, and I have just not felt well at all. I have felt everything from the feeling like that the floor was going to come out from under my feet, to not being able to sleep, to then sleeping what I felt like was too much and not being able to hold my eyes open. And I was very nauseated, and I was kind of concerned that I was getting, like physically sick. And then today, when the energy started to lift, I realized no, the energy's just been that intense. So if you have left me a message in the last couple of days, I will get back to you starting tomorrow. But back to our message from Metatron. He wants us to really see this space of this void as a place where all things can be birthed from, like a baby in the womb that is in there, and it's safe and nurtured, and it's growing, and just every minute of every passing day through the gestation of this pregnancy, this baby is upgrading and preparing to come into the world, to be birthed into the world. And so Metatron is really asking us to see this as, as Mercury has gone direct today, and we still have some other planets that are still retrograde, but we're going to start to feel a little bit of the energy starting to ease up a little bit. And then it'll ramp up again because we've got the Lionsgate portal in August. And so we're going to have a little bit of a time here where it's not, the energy isn't going to completely subside, but we're going to start to feel it relax a little bit. And so, again, if we're correlating it to this birthing process, we're kind of in between contractions, and we're kind of in between these major intensities and these major squeeze periods. And so we're going to have, a little bit of a time to retreat and rest. And, again, with just everything that is going on right now with the COVID-19, we're having, this second wave of it. And so I know, I don't know what each state is doing, state by state, or what you guys are experiencing that are listening from other countries. But here in Kentucky, we are being, asked to kind of reevaluate like our social distancing and those kind of things. So a lot of us are kind of forcibly, I don't want to say forcibly, but we're being required for health reasons to be in a state of more of a state of retreat. And so instead of, Metatron is saying, instead of, getting all worked up about that, and he knows that we're growing impatient, and he knows that, none of us really very much like that. But what it does is it offers us this time to be able to have this womb-like, or even, he drew my mind to think of like a a chrysalis, like the cocoon that that brings forth this beautiful, wonderful butterfly. Butterflies are just some of my favorite things in the whole world. Some of my favorite things to watch. Just think they're magnificent and fascinating, and they're so beautiful. And to think, what that started as, and then it goes into this cocoon. And so, Metatron's asking us, if we can think of it like that we go into our cocoon, we go into this womb-like state, and know that it doesn't have to be a scary place, and that he's right there with us, and that all the angels are right there with us, and that if we'll ask for their guidance, that they will help us to tap into this creation energy and see what we really want to do with that. A lot of us due to the COVID-19, a lot of people all around the world have started to really think about family and jobs and what do I like what is really meaningful to me in my life. I think a lot of people are starting to think about those things more now than ever before. And so as we are really experiencing a lot more waking up on the planet, even those of us that have been on this path for a long time, again, this is uncharted territory. And so we can really take this time to go within and be appreciative of the time to rest and sort of have a break, a little bit of an easing up of the energies, and take this time to really think about, what do I want to create? What do I want my life to look like going forward? How do I want to interact with people? How do I want to communicate better with people? How do I want to show more love? How do I want to show more compassion for myself and others? How do I want to take care of myself better? Whatever it is that is being drawn to focus in your life, and if you don't really know, ask the angels and they'll point it out to you. They're not shy. There have been plenty of times that, I've read about the energies, and I know what is coming up, and I know what's supposed to be, the focus, and I have been kind of stumped as to how that, where and how specifically I'm being called to work with that. And so I've just asked, how can you guys show me what it is that I need to do? Show me where those areas are that show me what I cannot see. That is my simple prayer. Angels, please show me what it is that I cannot see. And they will. And they will help you, and they will guide you, and they will just pour so much love on you and help you be compassionate for yourself, compassionate for others. And it can really be a very beautiful process if, when we allow it to be, and when we're not in such a state of resistance. When we just dive right into it willingly and surrender to the process and ask for the help that is available to us, it can really be a beautiful thing. I know, my experience has been that even in times that have been very challenging, and they have been, on the other side of those things, and not that I, have gotten through, and not that I've arrived at this point where I can say, okay, I'm here now, and now the work's over. That is certainly not it. But the angels don't want us to see it so much as work as it is just, it's evolving, it's growth, it's expansion. It doesn't have to be like all this work that implies resistance and that kind of thing. But even the things that have been more challenging for me, I can definitely say that I can share with you now from having been through a lot of those things and worked through some really intense things and really painful, challenging things, that I definitely see why, and I definitely am better for it. No question that I'm better for it. Um, because I have an appreciation and a compassion and a love and respect and a worth for myself that I never had before, and that I never thought that I would or could have. And from that place, I can extend all of those things even more so to the people around me, the people that I encounter. And so the angels want us to call on them for help with that. They're there, they're available, they're accessible to each and every one of you. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You don't have to say a special prayer. You don't have to be in a special building. You don't have to wear a special outfit or anything like that. But they will not infringe on our free will choice. So the only thing you have to have is a desire. And even with just the little smallest bit in you that feels or asks out, either to yourself or out loud, I'd like to know you guys, or I'd like some help, or is anybody out there? They will take it from there. They will take it from there, and they'll show up big, and they'll show up in ways that are just helpful beyond anything you could ever imagine. And so I want to thank you again for being here with me. I love each and every one of you, and I'm so glad that we can connect in this way, and I'm so grateful for the response to the messages. I hope that this one has been a blessing to you, as it surely has been for me. Please visit the website, ChristyMichelleRiggs.com. Find me on social media, connect with me, send me messages, and I'm sending you all kinds of love and blessings and just good energy for the week ahead. So again, I thank you for being here, and we shall talk again very soon.
I am not an island.